Welcome to replay of the round 14 clash between Richmond and Carlton from the home of football, the MCG. To the teams, and Richmond welcome back captain Kane Johnson. And fullback Will Thurstfield was expected to return to the side, but was a late omission. Jake King earning a reprieve. For Carlton, the big omission was superstar Chris Judd, with youngsters Jake Edwards and Joe Anderson coming in for their respective 4th and 6th games. It was a big game for Richmond, celebrating their 100 years in the competition. Could they celebrate with a win? Let's find out as we head to the action. Big game here at the MCG, and we are underway. There's a whistle straight up, and
a match-up between the #1 draft picks. Brett Delidio is being tagged by Gibbs.
Speaking of #1 draft picks, here's another one. Murphy with the free kick, taking his time. And just a little short pass wider, not 15 for Thornton. Low, Fisher couldn't take it. Brown heads back to Polak, and there's Delidio linking up. Bowden's under some pressure. Favola came through, crashed him to the ground.
Good hands, Newman.
Sidestepping Delidio.
Beautiful.
He's such a talented player. He links up with Tuck. Now Bowden squeezes it out wide to Polak, and Richmond trying to clear from their defensive 50, should do so now with Johnson.
Well, it looks, David, already as if Polak's going to be a loose man across that half-back line, just getting in the space for Favola.
Good chase by Simpson, just forced the error from Richardson. Coming out, revolt. Couldn't get his hands free to get rid of the footy. We'll have a ball up.
And Waite's got to be very careful. Waite dropped back very early to make the extra man, which left Richardson free out in that wing to be used on the way back. It's going to be very difficult for Waite. He can play in about 4 roles today.
We just saw the Richmond bench. Jake King looking on, just waiting to get into the action. Delidio again with a possession. It falls over the back towards Thornton. He's first there for Carlton. He's happy to see it over the boundary line.
Paid the free, pulled him off the ball.
And an interesting matchup, Scotland on Nathan Brown.
Yeah.
Both very attacking players. Scotland obviously off the half-back line, and Brown will be, if he gets any room, will love to put a dagger in their heart.
Thornton getting some possessions early. Carazzo just a little bit low. A couple of the kicks just not quite finding their mark just yet.
And you can see there's no pressure because Richmond are just dropping back immediately, but there's a turnover.
Bryce Gibbs. Carazzo had run on for him. He has Bentic a bit further down the line. Spots him now.
No one interested in Bentic?
No. Can use his hands and does to Cruiser. Links up for a 1-2. Now Favola should be the target. Leads deep into the pocket. The kick to his advantage, but it was just pushing out right. We have another boundary throw.
Well, it's not going to help much going there, isn't it? I mean, it was poor delivery in the finish that didn't get to Favola, but even had he marked, it was very, very difficult shot.
Looks like the real challenge for Carlton today is to kick a winning score outside of Brendan Favola. He's got 3 blokes dropping back. We saw Bentic's man down there. Half their midfield are pushing back, not getting involved in the contest up the ground.
Plenty of pressure on the Richmond defence, and Nathan Brown deciding that a rush behind should be the option. So the opening score, and as we see the flag there, it is the Zadie's rainbow flags today. All the flags in the AFL for round 14 will be rainbow flags, and that is for the Zadie's Foundation to raise awareness, Jared, for organ donation.
Well, I lost a great mate, David Hooks, who was very much a focus of organ donation, so it's a fantastic cause.
Bowden just working it to Polak now. Johnson can get it out wide. Simmons. McMahon runs through the middle and puts it out. The advantage of Morton. He couldn't take it. Revolt there. Richmond trying to keep it alive. The big punch came in from Cruiser over the top. Going back. Cochin. Yeah. Did well, stands up in the tackle, and then belts it in the forward 50 for Polo.
Well, it's first draft choice of last year, or the first draft sort of 2 years ago, and he showed great coolness, great strength through the hips.
Well, I must admit, David, I'm having a lot of difficulty picking up these Hawthorn players with Richmond heads on them, but the class of Cochin stood out. As soon as I saw the kick, you could see it was Cochin.
Polo for the opening goal for Richmond. The crowd will enjoy this, but it's not to be just yet.
It's a strange beginning in that there is no intensity in contest. I've never seen so many free and easy possessions in the first 10 minutes of a game.
It's in contrast to the expectations from this big crowd. Halpin back to Thornton, who shorts it up. Scotland. He's away. He's Scotland, the former Magpie, driving Carlton forward. One-on-one contest. Fisher was there. Squeezing up towards Favola. Tried to get rid of Moore.
Look at the numbers back from Richmond. That's why you're going to see slow play coming out of Carlton's half-back line. And maybe they're going to have to continue to do what we just saw, and that's kick to a contest, David, and just hope they can get it in there, which will mean their midfield will have to run hard forward.
Newman's on the end of the Brown kick. He's in some space. Heads to the goal square. Morton was there, but it's a nice punch from Jamison now. He stayed in the contest and got it back to Thornton. He did well, and Thornton's happy to rush it behind. Still no goals.
Yeah, and their capacity to find that single contest bloke in the front half is going to be a critical point too.
Well, Jared Waite's running hard into defence. He's the link man to get the ball out, but Richo's running hard to defence the other end, and he'll probably get involved in this one.
Big numbers again for Richmond. In front of Favola. He's lurking. Moore. Bowden, and we have another rush behind. So rush behind's dominating here at the MCG.
Yeah, that'll be interesting, because at the time that Richardson became involved, Waite was 130 metres away at the other end of the ground. I know who I'd trust in the run and the race over the distance. If Waite's carrying the same distance, he won't go with him at the finish.
4 points, 3 of them rushed to a piece. As Polo searches for Delidio on the wing. His kick low in front of Revolt. Did he have possession? Ball still free. Richardson was there. Numbers for Richmond. Delidio again. This time going back. Foley misses tuck with the handball over the top. Wanted to use Richardson. He kept going himself. Loves to run with the football. Nathan Foley, 55 metres out. Wants Morton at the goal square. Brown lurking. Did he get a boot to it? No, it's another behind.
Well, it might be today. If those contests are good on both Morton and Cleve Hughes, then the Crummer Blake's got to be doing his job, and I'm not sure they've got one.
Not sure Mitch Morton is tall enough to be trying to, and strong enough to go in a one-on-one wrestle rather than lead out. Twice he's had blokes running at him, and he's stayed home rather than get on the burst.
Edwards for Carlton to Favola.
Extra man.
Again, the extra man. Bowden is mopping up, and numbers here again for Richmond on the switch. They make a meal of it. That might be a little bit too high from Betts, but Carlton back in the contest. Here's Eddie Betts. What can he manufacture from the boundary line? This is his go. Not to be today, not just yet.
It's a very strange development as a game, Jared. I haven't seen one played like this for a while.
No, I guess the good thing, David, is it can only go one way.
That's true.
That's up. It will get better.
Carlton bench looking on. Still no goals here. This time it was in front of Hughes. Couldn't get down to it. Carazzo first there for Carlton. Back to Thornton. Chips it to Carazzo. Plenty of possession already for Thornton. No one on Jake Edwards. He's got plenty of time to just square it back into the middle. Murphy thought about Cruiser. Now Favola runs for him. Murphy's going to be caught. Holding the ball. Had plenty of time. It was called early. He was run down. Richmond now through McMahon. Brown. Morton, his target.
This is much more his go. Out on the lead. Open up some space behind him.
Berger Jared is just as good at that, so why wouldn't he?
And he saw an open goal square, thought perhaps he could roll it along the ground in for a goal, but not to be. We have a boundary throw in. Richmond 3 points. Here's Murphy.
They've just got to trust them, haven't they? Just got to trust these blokes to give them the ball, because there's nobody in their front half. Everybody's playing the back half.
It's actually the perfect kick by Morton. Gained some yardage, put it in a dangerous spot.
And they're alive here because they can just get possession. Tambling went without it. Morton's over the top of it with Cruiser on hands and knees. Brown. What can he do? Will he get one high? Umpire in good position, but did he duck?
No, he ducked, no doubt about it. Well, yeah, but I mean, if you have a look at this again, I mean, that's an absolute duck. I mean, it's just a misunderstanding of what's going on in the game.
Here's Nathan Brown round the corner. Not to be again. This crowd just aching for a goal.
No, the footy gods are on board. Don't worry about that.
Well, if it looks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's a duck.
That's a duck.
Richmond 4 behind, Carlton 2.
Well, the contest itself, when there's been a serious contest, when there's been a stoppage, it's on. There's no doubt about that. But there's just been so few aggressive, physical contests in this game at this stage.
Bryce Gibbs is the one who needs to tighten up and get the footy himself, because his man, Brett Delidio, is just dominating possession at the present time.
Here he is, Gibbs cutting through the middle. Fisher keeps it low. Beautiful pass.
And this is a good move. They've got to get some extra targets up there. If they continue to go to Brendan Favola, we're going to get a very ugly,
predictable, slow game. Yep.
It's Wiggins from 52 metres, likes himself for the distance. And another behind.
And I think they've got another bloke on the bench, Cameron Cloak, David, that is really well suited to go down there and become another target, or Cruiser.
Or Cruiser take that role. Cruiser's done his best football there, in my opinion.
Kick-in's a nice one to Polo, but he's played on now. He ducks under the tackle from Wiggins. He's forced to go back to McMahon. And shorts it up to Delidio. He's had 8 disposals, and we've only played 10.5 minutes. It's on world record pace. Simmons to Newman, the captain-elect, according to David Parkin. Now, that is a fantastic kick. Great vision from Newman. Cotchin releases Kane Johnson to the goal square. Hands in the back against Brown. Carlton free kick.
Old habits die hard. He just needed to use his run. He knows he made a blue. Ball probably just came in a little bit low.
Replay very clear there. As Sean Grigg runs it out for Carlton. Now, his option is long to Favola. More right with him. Spoil is good. Beautifully read off hands by Polak.
I think that's the first tactical move we've seen from the Carlton bench, and that's to get Favola out the centre half forward to try and exploit the space behind him.
Polo links up well into the pocket. Revolt.
Patterson on, double change in the ruck.
Jack Revolt. He's going to send it in long. It's going to go from 51 metres to the square. Patterson is there. So's Brown. Is that the opening goal? No. We'll get one soon.
Well, he's the crummer, isn't he? I mean, Brown's a very good target to use, etc., but he's extremely good on the drop, so if he can get around enough of those, he's going to cause some havoc at ground level.
You saw the hands in the back there again. Umpire didn't, obviously.
5-3 the score. We'll just keep it in behinds at the moment.
Good tackle. He had no prior opportunity, though, so it's got to be a ball up.
Certainly.
Won't be too many out of stand agree, but...
No, that's the way it has to be. I mean, he just dwelled on him. He didn't make a contest, just let him get the ball and tackle.
From that ball up, Cotchin, Brown on the left, into the middle of the ground.
Hands.
Had to be quick.
Well done, Moore.
And it was. He's going to get it back from Newman. And he's got some space here, David.
Well, have a look at Favola.
Big kick towards the goal square. Crummer needed, but Stevens there for Carlton. Thornton out to the outer side again. Grigg. Trying to move it quickly, Carlton. Stevens getting involved. Over the top from him was Anderson.
Looks like Carlton have been able to orchestrate the matchup of Stevens onto Nathan Foley. We came in here thinking that Hyde was going to do that job, but I think it's a win for the Blues.
Cloak started on the bench. He's on the ground now. He has Wiggins as a target, and he presents for him. 75 metres from goal, though. Fisher goes deep into the pocket with Favola.
Smart play, Favola. He really did open up some space for himself. We'll get to look at this in replay, but he ran up the ground with 30 metres of space at the boundary line, and then just led. There it is there. Now, it's a tough shot, but he's an outstanding shot at goal, so he'll back himself from here.
One of the finest kicks in the game.
Well, yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? Because Wiggins is
yet to have a goal this afternoon. Will it take something special from Favola not to be? Score is 5-4.
Wiggins has to be the target. There's no doubt about that. So Bowden has to come in. They've just got to make sure that Bowden works on, because at the moment it's a 2-on-1, and for Favola to actually win that, to create his own space, Sherwood was fantastic.
So Newman to take the kick for Richmond. And that's not his best option because he's kicked it straight to two Carlton players. One of them was Scotland who spilt it. Halpin comes in to help out and he measures the pass to Fisher. Another tight angle though.
His distribution of Halpin over short distances got better. He really does put his head over the ball and he hits the target not very far away on almost every occasion these days.
And Richo's having a breather. Strangely enough, he now rests at full forward.
12 matches, 12 goals, 12 behinds for Fisher. Can he change the numbers? Can he turn it into a 13? It's a tight angle, but it's the first goal of the afternoon. We've been waiting, and there it is. Carlton draw first play.
Well, it's taken a long while. It's taken nearly 15 minutes now. Not says that that's something at the skill level of the teams, but I think it's something about the tactical ploy, particularly that Richmond are using. They're certainly working as hard back as I've seen any team for a long while. A number of opportunities to come to take the ball out of their back 50. No one to go to, Jared.
Well, this game may simply come down to who takes their shots, David. Inside 50s, it's been basically the same. Richmond have certainly had 3 or 4 certain chances.
Here's Simpson on the burst for Carlton. Now Cloak has run hard for him. The ball sits.
Simpson's a worry.
He got the shepherd he wanted. He wants Favola now. Big nudge. Moore will take the free kick.
David, that was a classic case of Carlton being too Favola conscious because Cloak overlooked Simpson and there was one other.
Yep.
They were clear. No
Wiggins as well.
Yep.
You're right.
So Moore just...
And they have to be told. This is a coaching decision now. They have to be told, or else they're going to not create the opportunities.
Bowden coming off that big game last week. 39 disposals. Favola just getting some information in the back play as Patterson lumbers onto it. Free man though. Newman gets around Cloak easily. Gets to 55. Heads long. But heads wide, and Richmond have kicked 7 behinds.
They're kicking themselves out of it in a sense. They've created easier and more opportunities at the goal face than Carlton have by a mile. And Brown, if you've mentioned 3 of them, Jared, Brown, I'd give the ball to Brown before any other player on the ground to do what he's missed today.
Thornton the kick. 1-4 plays 7 behinds. It's a 3-point margin. And Richmond go here. Cotchin and Richardson. They work it out. Cotchin again. Doesn't panic in the contest. Sets up Morton. There's the future of the Tigers right there.
Oh, absolutely. And we see Morton's hands. I mean, he took 5 or 6 of the best strong marks.
Played on. At last, Tiger fans something to celebrate. They hit the front. A goal to Morton.
And he has a confidence about his kicking. I haven't seen him kick them round corners like that, but I've never seen a young bloke line up with such surety in his technique and whack them through last week. That is just what they need the right time. Had they got another one, we're in trouble. Cotchin is the creator, and for a first-year player to be having the dominance that he's had in the manner. Time, place, cool, strong, beautiful efficiency with hand and foot. He's a genuine article.
Revolt back for Richmond. Jake King wants it in the middle. Revolt decides to go down the line and missed his target. Put Polo under pressure. Ball spills out. Stevens. Bentic. Murphy was involved earlier. He's caught. Nice tackle from Revolt. Now a chance. Tuck. Into the pocket. Hughes. Richardson at the back. Numbers for Richmond. Hyde. Foley. Into the pocket. Good communication from Richardson and Simmons.
Excellent.
Troy Simmons plays on, spots Delidio. He can take a shot 40 metres out. He's a class act, as we know. He should kick Richmond second.
Well, the big blokes have been using the ball pretty well, haven't they? A couple of times today they've used it like a smaller bloke to somebody in a better position. That's terrific with Simmons coming into the front half as well. It gives them another option.
I think there's been a protest put up by a few people in Brisbane last week who had 15-metre kicks taken away from them because that one looked just 15.
Okay, what's the mark, Sean? You've had 20 now.
Siren sounds. Tigers lead by 2 points. Delidio with his 10th disposal, set to make it 8. And he does. No mistake whatsoever. He's had a brilliant first quarter, and the Tigers take in a handy 8-point lead. What a start it's been to a big day for the Richmond Football Club. Their radar was off early, but now they've got something happening on the scoreboard. We'll take a break here from the MCG. The Tigers leading by 8 points, and it's all happening on Fox Sports on a Saturday afternoon.
Step inside the coach's box with Fox Sports and Jim Beam AFL Fantasy. Watch all your footy on Fox Sports and use your knowledge to put your best on ground, round by round. Get the latest AFL news plus fantasy-specific articles to sharpen your coaching skills. Join anytime and take on the office, your family or your mates for a share of $8 grand in weekly and major prizes. A team of champions or a champion team. With Jim Beam AFL Fantasy, it's all up to you at foxsports.com.au.
The way is clear. Harvey Norman is your true high-definition destination. Future-proof against technology development by choosing 1080p Full HD. With the network's free-to-air HD channels, HD video cameras, Blu-ray and PS3, now there's even more reasons to consider upgrading. With the very best brands, the biggest range, the accessories to get the most out of the technology, the expert advice to guide you through it, plus the hottest deals on plasmas and LCD TVs. There's only one true destination at Harvey Norman now.
Qantas and the Wallabies, bringing rugby fans around Australia together as one.
With 2 all-beef patties, tasty cheese and spicy mayonnaise, the McAfrica Burger is now at McDonald's, but only for 2 weeks. Race in and try one today.
I think people are very savvy now.
The competitive shopper comes in all shapes and sizes.
Men,
builders,
the housewife, the little old lady. They're going to look for value for money.
Pack of 6 energy-saving globes, only $14.75. Taubman's Easy Coat Sealing White, $34.68. Size or weave rug, $99. Fire extinguisher, $19.88. Seagrass doormat, 2 for just $4.
Come in for the best price.
Bunnings Warehouse.
Lowest prices are just the beginning.
8 points is the margin. The Tigers lead as the second quarter gets underway. Patterson went early. Coming through was Betts. Richardson standing in the way, though. Gave it over to Patterson, who ran forward for him. His kick out in front of Simmons, but Thornton cleaning up again.
Interesting, they've started both big men on the ground. I think that's the solution for the Blues to get Cloak and Cruiser resting up forward. But Simmons missed an opportunity.
Stay there, Jordan.
Scotland put it out in front of Anderson, and he goes back through the middle to Waite.
Play on.
Wiggins. Anderson links up with him to the fat side. No one really home for Carlton there. It was all Richmond, and Delidio continues his good form. Brown's his target. Put him under some pressure. 2-on-1 situation. Carazzo. Carlton go forward now. Favola got rid of Moore. It spills over the back. Moore's going to be first to it. Rush behind coming up once again.
Well, even then, there's another example. Carazzo, I mean, Bishop was free and just needed to put the ball in front of him, and the finish that drifted well over the top made it impossible for the forward to mark.
From the kick in, Richardson is the recipient outer.
And you wonder why they're staggering, because there's no options in front of them, because they've all run behind the ball.
And he has to wait. He does. Handball, Hyde. McMahon was good running. Now it's an open forward line. Hughes can go back, and the kick was to his advantage. And I guess it's one of those situations, Jared, the right man in the right spot at the right time, because McMahon was on the burst.
He was, and he has kicked it magnificently into the space over the head. So that was a really good kick. Sorry, handball. And this is a really good kick. Clearview's running back into the paddock. And he gets an opportunity to show us the kicking skills that so delighted you last week, David.
Oh, I did. I hope he doesn't let me down now. But, I mean, this is like I say, the perfect technique, but a strong and confident technique in his approach. He'll kick the ball like he was 60 metres out.
For the opening goal of the second quarter, he doesn't let you down, David. So they got one just before the end of the first, and they kicked one early in the second, and they're out to a 13-point lead.
You watch him. He actually pulls the ball right. I've never seen a bloke who controls the ball so closely from hand to foot. He pulls the ball right back underneath him and then drives through. It's a terrific technique from White.
Smart handball from Hyde there. Richo put him under some pressure. But McMahon was good enough to get it into the spot.
And McMahon's the kind of player. They've got to have a linked-over player who can run as quickly as him and use it as well as him coming off the half-back line.
Just a massive players around the ball. It's going to be hard to get clean possession in there. Tuck just throws it on the boot. It wobbles forward. Carazzo just got rid of Brown. Nice and easy. And they're going to reload here, Carlton. This time it's Anderson. He heads in the Favola direction once again. Moore's right with him.
Well done, Bowden.
Yeah, the second man up to help out was Bowden. Brown underneath it all, wanted the free kick, didn't get it. Richmond working hard in defence. Give on the up from Newman to Tuck, and they clear. Strong hands.
Brilliant kick and great hands, and that was the most important one because Richmond need to just hold some time to get some numbers back in their forward half.
Richardson uses Tuck, and he threads it through 3 Carlton players to find Hughes on the lead.
And they've got so much space in the paddock here.
McMahon over the top. Patterson dancing around. Hits it into the pocket. Is that a push from Simmons? Umpire right there said, no, it's all yours, Troy.
You're kidding. Well, he threw himself. Well, if he nudged it and threw himself forward, he doesn't deserve it. But you can't take the bloke out of the contest. Now, I think the umpire might have been right. When you see that in replay, I think the player collapsed, and it serves him right for not contesting with everything he had. And you deserve to lose games as a backman when you don't front up to the contest stuff.
Simmons for the kick. 2 straight goals is the margin. Will he make it 3? He does. And the Carlton fans aren't happy. They look to the scoreboard for a replay. The Richmond fans are happy.
Well, I hope they can hear the commentary of their dual premiership coach because I reckon you're right, Parker. I think he was penalised because he added a little bit of interest onto the marginal push that was there. But
he'd get the free. If he actually contests properly, then he gets the free kick. But because he collapsed like a sandcastle, the umpire didn't reward him. And I don't blame him for that. You can't cheat. That's what he was trying to do.
On the boundary line, Lee Colbert.
The holy water's working down here, boys. Graham Polak's back on the ground, so it's great news for him.
Good to see the magic spray still around in footy, Colby.
Exactly.
And Colby takes a sigh of relief. But Richmond have a 3-goal lead.
Well, this is a very delicate time for Carlton now. If they can't string a couple together, and I still think that structure, we look down there, the same structure, not going to work.
Simmons, the goal kicker, was over the top in the ruck contest. Richardson went without it. Gibbs to Cloak. Now Murphy. He hits it very long. Fisher going back. Hard running from him. Now the bounce. He dribbles it forward. He gets help, and he gets help from Edwards to kick the goal. Jake Edwards gets Carlton second.
And it is going to work. Well, just jumped off.
On that occasion it did because they ignored the leading players.
Exactly.
And they went long to the bloke who was leading to the goal square. In fact, what Fev did was just open space up behind him for Fisher, and that was a smart kick. I think he might have been trying for goal, but well done to Edwards. It was clearly just opportunistically in the right spot.
And Fisher did work hard. It was a long, strong lead from outside of 50s, covered 45 or 50 metres to make contact. Very stiff not to actually be able to mark it and have a clean shot on goal, but got it back very well. That was pretty impressive. Created the space behind, all led hard and early, got up to create. Can't do good forward stuff, Jared, without space to work in. Whether it's been front or behind, it doesn't matter. You've got to create space.
I'm just looking at the other end of the ground. It's a massive challenge for Carazzo up against Nathan Brown, who is one of the best one-on-one players in the game.
This time Anderson for Carlton, turning it over. Jake King standing in the way for Richmond. Polo, Bowden under pressure, and just Fisher went straight past him. And Bowden is able to find Tambler. Likes to play on with it normally, moving it quickly, and there's Hyde on the end of it. He's got space, he's got time, and he has wasted the possession, but he'll get it back from Hughes. Now he hits to the goal square. 2-on-1 Carlton. Wait, an easy one to punch through. Or out of bounds, I should say.
Well, no excuses for missing 25-metre targets. That's just a shot at goal that has gone begging with this little kick. I mean, it doesn't miss. It misses by metres.
Simmons wins the knock. Murphy there, though, for Carlton. Bentic in and under. Simmons over the top of him. Will go again.
Just been watching Andrew Carazzo and the way he's working Nathan Brown over. He's actually just pushing him and blocking him and just taking away Brown's focus from the ball coming forward.
This is what you call an annoying coot, isn't he? And doing the job pretty well. He certainly has got off him and tried to be used out in the way, not just beating him in contest, which I guess a player of that has got to do more than just close him down.
Patterson from the bounce. Couldn't quite get boots of ball. Stevens went in first for Carlton. White working hard for Richmond. Now, something's going to happen very shortly, Jared. This is the third or fourth ball up in a row. And they'll whistle shortly.
Here they are. Look at this. He's not watching the ball. He's just watching Brown.
Simmons. There's Carrazzo.
He wins the footy.
Yeah. Out in front of Grigg. Cochin was chasing him. Jamison to clear. They measured the pass to Waite. Now, he's got a runner. It's Anderson. He's under pressure from Hyde. He's in real strife.
Well, it was a lousy hand pass. I mean, Brown didn't make good use of it either. It was a pretty ordinary hand pass at the start. There's been some frustrating errors in possession of the ball.
And Hyde just holding that ball in on the tackle, looking for the free kick. From the clearance.
Did that well, didn't they?
Yep, and they've got it now with Murphy. Accelerates through the middle of the ground.
Kick.
Oh, good, strong take from Edwards. He's the goal kicker. He kicked the second goal of the game for Carlton, just in his fourth game. And he just lays it off. Fisher will take a shot on goal.
David, we spoke about Murphy's kicking before the match.
Yes, we did.
I reckon that was fantastic because he was running in a straight line and he kept his whole body weight going forward.
Rather than his ability to fall away, doesn't he? It just falls away to the left to try and get the purchase on the ball.
Kicked the opening goal of the match, did Fisher, from a tight angle. This one an easier shot, and this one, as you'd expect, he misses.
I've seen him miss a lot of targets and goals, in fact, over the last month with that left shoulder just dropping around and trying to kick it slightly around the corner. But on that occasion, he just kept everything square, and he's not going to kick the ball as long, but, geez, that was accurate.
And you reckon he's developed that incorrect technique by trying to get more distance on his kick.
Kelvin Moore spotted Tambling standing. There's McMahon, the runner again. Hughes plays on quickly, back through the middle. He's got Newman. He wants Richardson. Now he had to go back. Oh, now he's given away a free kick.
That was a square up.
Well, why wasn't it called initially?
Sure, it's definitely...
I reckon he got spoken to by the umpire in the middle of the ground.
It was a very slow whistle from a guy who was in perfect position. There it is again, just across the top of the head from Richardson. Carlton have gone out to the outer side in the meantime with Stevens.
And the game's just steadied in favour of Carlton. Yes. Richmond had an opportunity in that first 10 minutes to
put them away a bit.
And they haven't done it. No sort of turnovers. This can cost you.
And that was Russell who caused it, but Johnson to Cochin. 55 metres out to the goal square. Carrazzo and Brown. And another behind.
He's playing him pretty well, Carrazzo. He's just getting him covered by the body position.
Cochin's effort. He was the one who cut it off. He cut the rest up and then gathered back, weaved his way through and kicked it beautifully. Gosh, he's a dream to watch, this kid.
In traffic, he's got such poise. Stevens onto the chest of Betts.
Smart play.
He used Stevens, who was running on. Out to the advantage of Favola, and that's the service he expects from Nick Stevens.
Well, it only came about, though, because of how quickly Carlton got the ball through the middle of the ground. It was a smart play by Eddie Betts, not so much to mark. That was good quality stuff, but a handball to Stevens set it up.
Quick as a flash.
There's Betts, and there's the quick reflex give. Stevens running straight at goal, was out to put it to the advantage of Feff. Had a tight shot in the first quarter. This one from right on 50.
Good whack it.
He makes no mistake for Vala, and Carlton edge closer.
Well, there's been I think a significant change in control of the game. There's no doubt about it. Carlton, in the last 7 or 8 minutes, I don't know they've been in more often, but their ability to get it in and with some space on it, the endurance factor might be a problem in the finish. In other words, Richmond's method of play is going to demand so much from them. A young side, they've been working hard for a long time. It may just count against them unless they go back to a less defensive structure in the back half, get more players middle rather than back.
And the other bloke who has to get involved, I think, is on screen. Matthew Richardson.
Yes, he's since about half-time of last week, certainly today, he hasn't been a significant player at all.
And they've pushed him to the back line, following Jared Waite. to continue that matchup.
Yeah, wait, right on the goal line, trying to draw him back. Margin is 6 points. There's a bit of wrestle going on just to the front, and it's still going. Umpire involved. Come on, get up.
I think they should tell the umpires to stop coaching. Just blow the whistle at the right time.
Ball up as the wrestles continue off the ball.
Good hit.
To the advantage perhaps of Betts. Bowden, little fumble. Fisher arrives. Gibbs just stood in the tackle and then went around another one. Out towards Favola, but there's a bit of miscommunication there between him and O'Halpin. Richardson kicks it to the Richmond faithful. Chance for Carlton. O'Halpin. Well, he ran himself into trouble. Throws it on the left, tumbles it forward. King there for Richmond. Over the top, Favola. Betts. Has he kept it in? He can try anything, can't he?
Well, that's what O'Halpin tried. Was a magnificent thing. He's just showing his Irish skills on both sides of his body then. I haven't seen him do that before. That's a new trick.
I think he tricked himself.
I think he did.
Boundary throw in. Dangerous spot here for Carlton. Cruiser missed it. Simpson with the long sleeves in over the top. Richmond players want a free kick. They're not going to get it.
Well, we can't deny, Jared, that it's been not tough inside. It's been, I mean, when we've had a stoppage or two, they are ferocious in there. Absolutely.
Cruiser had to beat a couple. Betts. So inventive close to goal, but not this time.
Got to find some energy though, Richmond. Carlton are pressing. They've got to recognise that and somehow either slow it up and just get some fuel back in the tank, or get the ball at the other end of the ground in some dangerous players' hands.
Well, Delidio stopped getting hold of it. He's only had one disposal for this quarter.
And that's the opportunity for a fellow like Richard Tambling to step up, fill the breach. He's the bloke that Carlton need to fire. He's had just 4 possessions. Simpson is dangerous.
Richardson got back to help out. So too Revolt. They run it out with hands. Revolt again. Tumbles it forward, and great positioning by Cochin. Read it far better than anyone else. Now he wants Morton again. Ball spills over the back. Morton can't get onto it. Carlton will clear.
On top at the moment.
Wait.
And Carazzo is really hurting Brown and Richmond because he's had 15 possessions and he's covering their most dangerous forward.
So the rebound comes. This time it's with Simmons for Richmond. Open forward line. Morton the target, but numbers again for Carlton. Wait.
They're playing dumb footy at the moment, Richmond. They've got the space, but they're just blasting it into numbers that are favouring Carlton.
Halpin, just a little juggle, then looks up, finds Bentic in the middle, who links up with Scotland, can go wider, does. Carazzo again.
Gosh, he's brought the ball on for his own birthday, I reckon. 16
disposals.
Well, hasn't had a man for the last 5 minutes because Brown's been on the bench. He's just back off now and he's pushed down to defence trying to get rid of Carazzo. Colby, how long did Brown stay on the bench? It looked like just a couple of minutes.
Yeah, he just touched down, mate, and then straight back on. But interestingly, Satando O'Halpin was trying to get Richardson to the goal square and play as a defender. It's been intriguing to watch.
Well, Polak's now changed spots with Richo and he's gone into the forward line.
Carlton from the contest. It's with Gibbs. He goes back to Grigg. Stops, sets himself for a shot. And kicks it. Carlton have hit the front, the goal to Grigg, and they have all the momentum at the moment.
Well, David Parkin was spot on when he said at the start of the match that it was going to be interesting to see whether the Richmond game plan would hold up throughout the match because it demanded so much work rate. Well, with the last 10 minutes of play, it started to see Richmond flagging and Carlton continuing on at a consistent level.
Oh, no doubt the run, as we call it in football, is certainly with the Carlton boys at the moment, and Richmond players, some of whom which were high up early and lots of energy, are just struggling now to keep up with their opponents. And the one on the way out, Carazzo on Brown, you know, Brown is a very dangerous player if he gets opportunities in there, but he's got to work much harder when the ball's going back the other way, because Carazzo's becoming the structured quarterback of the team.
Sean Grigg, just his 2nd goal in his career. He's pretty pumped. He's put the Blues in front.
Well, they've got a couple, you know, we're talking about Tuck's been good for weeks and weeks and weeks, and I wonder if he hasn't made an imprint. Tambling hasn't made an imprint on the game. Cochin's carrying them in the midfield at the moment.
Secondary bounce. Simpson just forcing it forward, just hoping something will go Carlton's way. Delidio got back to help out. Bowden, sidestep. And runs it out. Out in front of Morton. Just paddled it to himself. They got around Thornton, kept it low. Richardson right with him. Waite. Strong tackle by Jared Waite. Good defensive work.
Well, just going through the stats for this quarter, David, it backs up your point. Foley's had just one possession. Delidio's had just 2 possessions. They're their key men in the middle of the ground. Nathan Brown yet to touch the footy.
Scotland and White enjoying each other's jumpers. There's Brown and Carazzo.
And yet the possessions are basically even, which suggests that their back line with Bowden on top have had so much more of the ball.
McMahon looked up, spotted Cochin with a bit of space. He slides in and marks inside 50.
His reflexes, Matt, are just unbelievable.
He decides that Richardson's a better option than a shot at goal, and once again, it's Pollard, I should say, strong hands.
I just say his reaction to where he was and his initial acceleration, Cochin. I know he's the fastest bloke over the ground, but his initial 3 or 4 metres is absolutely sensational.
Well, this is one that the Tigers are desperate for. He's not the finest of kicks, but he's improved a lot, and certainly not beyond him.
Well, he stretched well to take the mark, so it would have tested the injury for sure.
Kicked 6 goals, 7 this season.
Great kick.
He evens up the ledger with a perfect drop punt.
Well, that's a credit to Graham Pollack, because he had a bit of a nervous twitch when he was playing for the Fremantle Dockers in front of goal, and I think he's worked really hard since coming to the Tigers on his disposal, and that's the reason why he has to, because it makes him just a much more valuable player.
Well, you think about their structure for the future. He is one they're just praying that he will stand up and become either a key centre-half back or key centre-half forward player. To come back after that injury, I thought he was gone for the day. Stretched like that market, go back and clean up the goal. Says a lot for the young man.
And just to outline how valuable Trent Cotchin has been, that's his 4th assist in goals. They've kicked 5.
That's unbelievable.
Not bad for an 18-year-old. Tigers back in front. There's a very talented young man on screen there, Cruiser. It's a 5-point margin. And here's a chance for Russell and Murphy if they can work it out.
A bit stiff there, weren't they? They had good access, got a bad bounce, Murphy. They were up and going and clear and gone, but Richmond were able to hold it up.
From that bounce, Tuck came through, but standing in the way, Scotland. He releases Bentic. Pass from Bentic over the top of Favola's head. Revolt going back again. Under a little bit of pressure there from Edwards. Here's Stevens. Not going anywhere, Nick Stevens. Patterson involved. We have a ball up 45 metres out from Carlton's goal.
It was great work from Rewald, just covering off round the back. He left his opponent Edwards. I'm not sure what he was thinking about, but he was running nowhere near the footy.
Good for a kid who's never played interviews football there, Jared.
He looks quite comfortable down there.
Yeah, he does. Amazing, he does.
There's a chance for Carlton. They work it out through hands. It gets to Gibbs. His kick. Betts couldn't take the mark. Newman there to help out or to relieve the pressure for Richmond. Bowden got it from Patterson. His target is White. Moves it on quickly. Out in front, Richardson, a long way from goal. Wheels around, gets it in the Pollack direction. This time, though, the kick ill-directed. Scotland takes an easy mark.
Playing great game, Scotland. I reckon Scotland's been one of their architects of the forward process. He's been good both back and running through the midfield.
Well, the delivery into the forward 50 in this term, Richmond, has been poor, and it's one of the reasons why Carlton have been able to come back into the match.
And they're sharing it around at the moment. Cruiser. Yeah, stands and delivers with the kick. The big leap over the top from Revolt. Strong punch. Wanted the boundary. King with Wiggins. King just intelligently just paddled it back to Bowden. Again, Richmond share it through hands. It goes back to Bowden. He's got time and space on the wing.
We've got to bypass Richo most of the time because every Carlton player knows that's where they're heading.
Well, he decided that Hughes was an option, puts it out in front. Good mark by the young man.
Richo's just got to get over the disappointment of not being the focal point and realise that him running the ball away or running away from the footy, like Fev, creates space for this man.
Helping his team, and I thought he got to that stage. Let's hope he is thinking that way. And this kid, we've had the two kids who were taking big marks by jumping last week. They're doing, as you suggested earlier in the game, Jared, getting on their bike, coming hard at the ball, and they've still got great hands. I hope he's now going to show me this magnificent technique.
You're under pressure.
Let's just watch him here, David. We're right behind him. Oh, it's outstanding technique. Never in doubt. And he kicks his second, but more importantly for Tiger fans, they get back out to 11-point rate. It's a beautiful technique to watch.
Matt, you get excited. I mean, the kids coming through Albury. We've seen Cochin today with his understanding of the game, and you see two kids who have got great hands. Our game depends for its future on kids being able to take strong mark. This is
the setup once again, and we see Joel Bowden just picks the right option. And there's a number of options to go to.
And Richardson in the front.
And he goes to the top of the square, much more efficient if you can get it in the hands of a bloke who's 35 out on not much of an angle.
Terrific to see.
6 last week for Hughes. He's got 2 in this second term. 3 minutes remaining before half-time. And they lost the momentum, the Tigers, but they've got it back. And a very interesting 3 minutes to come. Can they get another one? Foley tumbles at forward. Here's Hughes. Bad bounce for him. O'Halpin likewise.
Well played.
Richardson on hands and knees.
Super.
And they need some help. Patterson was there. Stevens to clear, though, for Carlton.
Well, wasted opportunity to the Tigers, but has it opened up at the other end of the ground. Here comes Fev.
And Fisher spots him. Favola in best position. Takes the strong mark. And he should turn around and kick a goal. It will be his second.
And what was good was that Bowden's man, Fisher, Bowden was halfway. Do I go with Fisher, let him have it up the ground a bit, or do I come across and protect Favola? He chose to get halfway to nowhere, didn't do either. Fisher was able to have the time and the space to kick it perfectly to Favola. It wasn't an easy mark for Favola either. It wasn't easy. It was a good mark.
So Favola for number 2. Really should be a soda, and it is. An answering goal for the Blues.
We've got a good game, Matt. I think some of the, can I say, skill level has been a little disappointing, mainly in decision-making, some of the execution. But we've got two teams out there who understand the significance of the day and are doing their best. And a loss of momentum, which Richmond had, they've regained it just by sheer hard work, particularly in the contest stuff. But I'm delighted. If you're going to play Bowden properly, you've just got to honour the bloke that plays on him and make him and force him to go back and become a contest player.
And it's a great battle in the goal square there. Favola up against Kelvin Moore.
Yeah, terrific, isn't it?
I think Kelvin Moore had the honours early,
yes,
but now with 2 goals in the first half, possibly another one with 2 minutes of time remaining, says that Fev's not out of it.
And at the other end of the ground, the reserve umpire was on for a chat to Satandra O'Halpin with a bit of push and shove with Cleve Hughes. And here is Hughes on a long lead, but cutting in front of him was Polo.
Satana's just got to learn he's got to leave his hurling stick at home.
Here's Hughes now. He doubled back. It's smart play. He just lost O'Halpin by doubling back and going straight back up the ground.
Takes a long while to learn that, doesn't it? To take a hurling player and put him on the Australian footy field and teach him the nuances of our game. You can't learn that overnight. I don't care how smart you are. You can't learn it.
Hughes has 2. This is a tough angle, though. And it's always going to be right. Just to behind. Richmond now 6'9". Carlton 5'9". 1 straight kick in it.
Well, whether it's legend or myth, David, it doesn't matter, but it is one of the great lines of Australian history, and that is that it's reported that Satanta said to Brett Ratton, or might have been David Park, and when does the hitting start, when he first turned up at Princes Park.
It's a vicious game, isn't it? It's a bit like our game, but they give you a stick to whack the bloke with.
Brown sent it forward, but Bowden in the way for Richmond. Now, they've got to play loose if he can get it out there.
Got 2 loose.
Yeah, Tuck came straight off the bench.
Good professional free. Good very good Carazzo.
Oh, they were away, Tigers.
Yeah, they were away. The umpire didn't read it properly because he got the professional free, held him up, and everybody's back. What a beautiful thinking effort by Carazzo.
Now, in the end, Tuck ends up with it, but Carlton have had some time to get back.
This is a good kick.
Into the hole. Hughes drifts across. One for Satanta to think about.
Well, he was thinking about it. I thought he might have done something about it. That he was sort of roundabout, but no hand came up, no body contact, and a very clean mark to a very, very good kick, not pressured. And now we'll test him, because this should be within his range. Now, I didn't make a comment in the previous one, but this is one he should put away with the technique he has.
Well, it looked like Satana was trying to use his body, but that was clearly one he needed to go at the footy and just smash it away.
Siren sounds similar to the first quarter. Delidio didn't let Richmond down on the siren. Neither has Cleve Hughes. That's a big kick right on half-time. They get out to a 2-goal break, and they come together with Cleve Hughes. That is a sensational finish for Richmond at half-time. They will enjoy the break. They will set themselves up for the second half. We'll take a break. David and Gerald will return and analyse what's been happening as the Tigers celebrate a 12-point lead.
Want to lower your handicap and raise your golfing IQ? Then there's a homegrown golf show just for you.
I'll say it is.
The Fox Sports PGA Golf Show wraps up the action from around the world, gives you tips to help your game, and talks to the world's best about just what it takes.
I just didn't know whether to laugh or cry or cringe or...
Tee off with the PGA Golf Show tonight at 7:30. Where else but
Fox Sports. Fox Sports.
Your home of golf in Australia.
You little beauty.
Glenn Munsey here from TAB Sportsbet. There's a mile of sport going on around the world, and here in Australia, we're going to look at rugby league. So let's look at the prices on the TAB Sportsbet event of the week.
In State of Origin 3, the Queenslanders are favourites to win and take the series, with plenty of other betting options available.
If you're in one of the thousands of pubs and clubs around Australia with the TAB, place your bets right now and best of luck.
Qantas is giving you the chance to win a trip for two to see the Wallabies playing the final Bledisloe Cup match in Hong Kong. For details and to enter, visit qantas.com/Wallabies.
Friday night footy on Fox Sports Plus. Can the Crows test the league's best when the #1 Cats attack at Amy?
Oh, they celebrate hard.
Adelaide Geelong, Friday night at 8. Live in the Northern States on Fox Sports Plus.
Tigers are half away from winning 3 games in a row and leapfrogging Carlton on the premiership table.
Going nowhere, I'll have it. Gently up, fellas, gently up.
This is going to put a big pressure on Cloak then, and how long he can go doing this role against 2 fairly capable ruckmen.
There's the secondary ball up, and Stevens trying to get through, trying to bust through a couple of tacklers, holding the ball.
Give us a break, umpire. The arms were free.
McMahon's going to take the kick. He tries to move it quickly, and onto the chest of Brown. The pass was centimetre perfect.
Matthew, a perfect pass. I mean, that ball's travelled nearly 45 or 50 metres to hit him on the absolute break. But it was a bit harsh, Jared. I'm with you. You just can't have people going in and being sweated on like that. In the finish, no one will be going to win the first possession.
He's kicked 4 behind so far, Nathan Brown, and he is still off target. He has now kicked 5.
Is that Stevens still arguing with the umpire? Got to get on with it, Steve-O, and forget about it. I think you were harshly done by, but don't argue with the umpire.
Of course, that rule was brought in because so many players wouldn't give the ball up, and they just wanted to
hold it in,
go to ground and create another stoppage, and it's worked against ball winners.
Jamison under a bit of pressure here, dribbling it out in front of Stevens, and that's a win for Richmond there. They can set up from the boundary throw-in.
Well, it's interesting that Foley's gone now directly to Stevens as his opponent, and that will be another runner against Stevens.
Simmons won the knock. There is Stevens.
Just looking at that contest, though, Looks like Foley's going to go for the footy as much as Stevens.
Yeah, that's what they gave him access. So Stevens got the ball first time.
Trent Cotchin just involved again. There's the 2 men in question. Delidio having Gibbs follow him around after a brilliant start. Brett Delidio.
Well, Delidio might be trying to. That's it.
Delidio's another great option to go into the goal square, and if he doesn't get the footy in this term, because Gibbs has tightened up on him, you might see him just leading out of the square.
Scotland, the handball over the top to Bentic. Now his kick missed the target by a mile. Beautiful pick up though by Fisher. Stevens had run on. He ran forward. He gets inside 50 and he kicks a goal. He'll be pumped. He won't worry about the umpire now.
And it just highlights the fact there's no point being man-on-man in a contest if, in fact, you're going to play wide of each other. And it's Russian roulette. Both good midfielders, both first possession winners.
I don't know whether you can see this, but Delidio's just being prevented, absolutely being prevented by Gibbs. That's a free kick off the back of the ball there. You can't stop a bloke going the contest.
And from that contest, Stevens just belted forward.
Yes, he did.
There he is.
As we know, Matt, it's no way to play Stevens.
No.
He's too good at getting it.
He is the skipper for the day in the absence of Chris Judd, and importantly for Blues fans, they get the first goal of the second half and the margin is at 7 points.
Well, they've got Shane Tuck doing a tagging job on Adam Bentic, which is a pretty fair feather in his cap. Maybe that needs to be changed.
Well, yeah, I've not seen him do that particular role. Tuck's been the ball winner. He's been the instigator and starter. Bentic is a good player, you know, gets possessions, but he's not one who's going to kill you.
It's Tuck. Arm across Bentic.
Now Foley's got the slam tackle or the tackle on Stevens, but as soon as the ball goes,
he just ran away.
He goes.
Here's Stevens, one of the players chasing this hot footy, and he just couldn't quite take it.
Well, they've got to do something. Having Stevens, you know, is showing now the leadership. I think he was pretty disappointed not to.
The runner just went out. I think Parker to pass on the message.
That's a good call, Jared, again.
From the boundary throw in.
I don't think. Sorry, Matt, but I don't think Foley can play that way. He'll start that way, but as soon as he gets magnetised to the ball, it's good night.
Now Murphy drives Carlton forward. Favola waiting for the bounce. Now he's got it.
Good hands.
Handball to Bentic. Into the pocket. He has an option. It's Fisher. He's just spilt the mark, but he's still in it. Around the corner, Fisher. Not a bad shot from him. Hits the post.
The little bloke is screaming. Eddie, who's screaming for it, and he was in there. But I think it was, you know, Fisher puts those away most times. I think it was a legitimate, legitimate decision to make.
Yeah, I think he just had his. It's an instinctive shot at goal, and if you're going to pull those off, you can't be sort of looking up and then squaring it up because it just wasn't the time.
Well, Richmond in trouble here. They can't get it out of their defensive 50. Good pressure by the Carlton forwards. Eventually Tuck gives it back towards Thornton. He gets a very unkind bounce. White comes in over the top of him. Brown to help out. Thornton, it spills to him. And it's going to be a free kick back to Carlton. It's going back to Brown.
See, that was continuous play then, Jared. I know you took it on the blokes, the other 55 who are disadvantaged by it.
Now, he wanted Stevens, but Richmond defenders arrive from all directions. White gets a push advantage. Richmond will keep going here. Foley, he's gone.
Advantage.
Scotland. Carlton on the rebound. The kick from Scotland out in front of Wiggins. The Tandling will arrive. Wiggins pops it into towards Fisher direction. Here's Fisher. Another fumble from him. Favola came out, didn't take the body. Fisher just spilt it. White, and it was messy.
It's good play by White. He's an option if Stevens continues to get away.
Bowden.
Smart play.
He held it up, and then the kick wasn't good, but Cotchin keeps it in. And then lays it. Lace out for Brown.
All class. The way he got it, moved it, kept it in play, got balanced.
Smart play from Jared White. He kept his feet. Richo jumped early, needed to protect the body a little bit better than he did, but he's having a good night, or a good afternoon, Jared White.
Yep.
Boundary throw in.
Makes your job easy, mate.
Yeah, they're doing it all. Polo around the corner.
Yeah, it's interesting because I don't know that Carlton would want him back in the goal square, Richardson. I think if they were in their planning, they would hope that he'd play midfield and up.
Jamison receives the kick in now. He spotted a player breaking hard from the congestion, and it was an intelligent kick to the advantage of Bentic. Gibbs, I should say. Gibbs' beautiful pass. Wiggins shorts it to Fisher, moving it quickly. Now his pass was for Cruiser. The big man rebounds well, tumbles it forward. Bentic waits, not 15. He's got to go back with hands. Over to Gibbs, and Gibbs has kicked the goal. Persistence from Carlton was terrific.
And as it flew into the tools, I was looking for Eddie Betts, and Eddie chose to go behind, not in front. It dropped in front, but they were still good enough to manufacture a pretty good goal. Pretty good goal in the season.
Since quarter time, Bryce Gibbs has had the better of the Delidio matchup, and in this term, he's starting to apply some pressure to the Tiger camp to find out, okay, what are we going to do? We're going to leave Delidio continue to run around despite the fact that his possession rate has gone right down. Just one possession in this term and only a couple in the second.
So they might have to do something here.
I think they've got to stick him in the forward line.
Okay.
Bryce Gibbs is comfortable playing forward, but Delidio is capable of kicking 3 or 4. Now Bryce Gibbs is right on top in that battle. We know that Stevens has got on top of Foley in that battle. They've got a problem in the middle of the ground.
Certainly have.
The margin is back to 1 point. And Blues on top in this third term.
Knock it out now, guys.
Hard to get free there.
There's a bit of meaning in this stuff right now. I think the game is delicately poised, and the next couple of scores just might make the difference.
I think they've acknowledged that, Parker. White looks like he may have gone on to Stevens with Foley pushed up the ground onto Scotland.
From the contest, Gibbs winning an under. Tamlin came over the top of him. Carlton again persists. Bentic throws it on the boot, gets it forward. Bad bounce. Newman there to clean up. Great smother from Stevens, though. Carlton with a chance. Stevens sets it up. And Fisher finishes it off.
That is brilliant. Absolute brilliance for him to take the ball under the pressure he was, Stevens, and release it almost over his shoulder to a blind side. Hit the teammate perfectly. Fisher hit the teammate perfectly who put it away. I mean, that is an inspirational individual act, but had a lot of team underlying it.
Well, I was really keen for Nick Stevens to play well today, because he was the one that needed to lift with the absence of Chris Judd there. The club will be looking to him. He's the captain of the day. He wanted that. He cherished that honour. It wasn't given to it. Chris Judd was there. But if he can lead the Blues to a memorable victory today, Parker, I think he's going to win a lot of friends.
Oh, he will. And I mean, the smother, he's not known for those sort of defensive elements. He's smothered to trap the ball and then gather. Release was just an exceptional effort.
Brilliant work from Stevens. Fisher kicks his second. And Carlton now out by 5 points. And they're dominating possession. 28-15 already in this term. Here's Favola. More with the spoil.
Very good game.
Favola keeps going. Wiggins, it ends up with him. Fisher is everywhere at the moment. Tight on the boundary. There's a wrestle just off the play. It's Favola having a bit of fun. But meanwhile, back with the footy. Richmond break through the centre of the ground. McMahon long. Brown right with him. Carazzo.
Good tackle.
Just trying to force it out. Here's Grigg. Little give out towards Brown. They're under pressure, but they're equal to it. Carazzo did well. The wrestle still going on behind play. Finally, they worked out the ball's coming. They have to stop.
But they've got Cruiser, who's got a massive height advantage on Jack Riewoldt. One-on-one in the square, and that would suit the Blues.
And I'm not saying, I mean, Jack Riewoldt looked comfortable in the first half. I think he can play, but he's played most of his footy forward in the front half, so it's going to test the kid.
Carlton by 5 points. They've kicked 3 goals in this term. And they're trying to work hard here, but it's Foley gets involved. Hyde wrapped up. Tamlin couldn't take it. Good work from the big man Cruiser. Worried him out of it. Simpson came in to clean it up. Simpson, he wants a goal. Outside 50, bangs it long. Deserved a goal.
You're right, Matt. It was good work, and he's a better finisher than that. I think he even though he settled down, he's sort of had a bit of a rush of blood in the finish because he can convert those often. They're getting murdered in the midfield, Richmond. You're right. Hyde's now gone back, I think, to Stevens, which is with the original matchup, and that failed. So it'll be his third or fourth opponent.
8 inside 50s to 3 in the third quarter.
Well, they've dominated, Matt. You're right. It's been dominant. It's been progression almost from middle forward in Carlton's favour.
And now we've got a bit of stop-start movement from Richmond. Very stagnant. But they've held possession. Delidio breaking to the wing. Richardson wants it. He's almost going to get it. Polak got in his way, and then he just chips it over the top to Polo. And Richardson kept going. Messy handball. Tough one to kick. Oh, but he kicks it along the ground, and he kicks a beauty. Oh, he does the unexpected.
Unbelievable. I thought he was going to go back to Polak and say, hey, come and stand here and give me another hand pass along the ground like that. It was amazing recovery for a big man. Amazing recovery.
I'm a bit mystified on the choice of kick, but there's Polak. Now Richardson keeps going. He'll come back into the screen in a minute.
Oh, hamstring.
Yep. Do that again.
We've got to lift off a good length. Happens occasionally at the MCG, but not generally down there in the goal square.
Well, I think Carlton will be very pleased if he put himself back up in the midfield now, because he might be the difference down there.
So Hyde Pargo looks like he may have moved over on to Bentic, who's had the most possession, 7 in this term.
Scores a level. Big crowd in attendance. And we're going to have a tight finish, I would suggest. A long way to go, but...
Well, it's delivering, isn't it? At least for the paying customers, it's delivering.
And the battle in the midfield is the real key at the minute. And there's a free kick in the back. It's Bentic again. And move it quickly. Scotland on the burst, hitting it long. Numbers, though, for Richmond. 3-on-1. Ball falls to the ground level, though.
Good hands.
Edwards over the top. Fisher. It was read by Johnson. He saw it moving out that way, and he cut it off. King to Brown. Vision is good. Spotted Polo in some space. Presenting his Hughes. Now he's fumbled it. Kicked 3 goals in the first half, and that's a turnover. Carazzo on the left. Fisher. 75 metres from goal. He spots Stevens. Simpson there as well. 2 of them go at it. Cochin couldn't get boot to ball that time. A clever handball from the skipper Johnson to Bowden. Delidio kept his feet. Ball bounces for him. Delidio breaks away quickly. Morton's got it. He wants to play on. 55. He has a ping. And he kicks a beauty. 2 goals to Morton. Tigers back in front.
Oh, delighted to see Jack Rewald keep his head then. The kid, I thought he might have been getting the shutters up, but he had to do something. He was cool, calm, and very collected, and set that up on the way back. Terrific footy. Great kick.
Well, smart play by Delidio to go up the middle of the ground. I think this is where they were dangerous. He had Nathan Foley, who'd played the Russian roulette game and let Stevens go forward. He looked like he was going to hurt them again. But Delidio's ability to win the ball on the back of Jack Rewald set up Mitch Morton. Courage enough to go for it himself. Didn't get drawn into kicking at the Richo every time.
Oh, it was fantastic. The kid, he took him on, knew his capacities, and put it away.
Morton and Hughes with 5 between them. And the Tigers stung into action, now back to a 6-point lead. Stevens winning the clearance. Kick from Brown is long. Grigg was front and square. Newman there. Betts tried to pinch it. It came out. Nice handball from Anderson. Scotland back to Bentic. Stands off a step. Kicks to the square. Favola presses back. Betts. That's Eddie Betts. That is what he does for a living. Front and square and dribbles it through.
It was a super effort of Fev. Let's not count him out in that process. Seb leant back on his man. Can have difficulty in actually marking the ball, but brought it down. And this bloke's not often up there. I don't know how, you know, and in their case, it's predictable it is going to Favaldi. He should be front and square, I think, more often. A terrific effort. Fev getting it down into the right spot. And Betsy just gathering, and quick as a flash, he had it through.
He's an exciting young player. He manufactures goals, and he has tied up the score once again with his first.
I'm not sure what Newman could have done better than that, though, Dave, because he was right on top of him.
No, he was right with him.
It was a split-second decision to kick the footy.
4 goals to 2 in this term. It's been great to watch. And they go again, Carlton. Once again, Anderson. Wider, Stevens trying to draw the play, then decides to go by foot to Favola. Just stumbled with his feet there.
I thought he got pushed, but...
Yep. Richmond not out of trouble yet. Polak's kick doesn't find Cochin. He is going nowhere. Carazzo wraps him up.
I think the other area they've got to get better at, the Tigers, David, is they're getting killed in this term at the centre clearances. Carlton have just been able to whisk it away every time.
Oh, again there, Stevens has been absolutely super.
Numbers though this time. Richmond, Foley gives it to Polo, takes and goes. Not out of danger yet. Cochin got it from McMahon. Away he goes, out in front of Richardson. And Waite.
Good support running by Jake King there. That was excellent to leave his man and push up. He hasn't won it.
Oh, he gets the tackle though, Jared, and they've held it in the area. That's the desired result.
Yep. You can't knock him off that. I think that's a good decision. Might be a biased call from me, but a good decision.
Ball up on the outer side. Nothing in this game. Scores level. Tension is building. Free kick.
Well, the problems we anticipated will be that Cloak has done the full quarter, Jared.
Yep.
And whether he can continue on. He's been great. He's been instrumental in helping with those clearances.
Patterson's kick, too much on it. Waite can do that and take the mark. And he gives a quick switch. Jamison, not sure.
Cloak up the middle. He's working really hard, but he hasn't been on it.
The turnover. White going to run himself into trouble. To the pocket.
Richo's got him.
Got rid of White, but forgot to take the ball.
He had him where he wanted. He just, in fact, I think White did a good job to neutralise that contest because he was out of position.
Kick made might just have had a little too much on it.
Cloak and Patterson to do battle. Cloak. Well, Patterson almost got back involved. Morton steals it from the clearance, sends it forward past Hughes. Simpson goes back. Scotland to help out. He's going to back himself, Scotland, and measures a beautiful pass at pace to Gibbs.
Off the bench. It was fantastic. I love that off the bench.
And kept going, Scotland. The kicking skills to the fore there.
Great mark.
Beautiful mark from Russell. He's been quiet.
Yeah, he has been very quiet. He's a last quarter expert, Russell. Kills him at the finish of the game.
Russell kicking long. Fisher at the back. Had good position. Didn't take it. What can Eddie Betts do? Handballs to himself. He's on the boundary. Will he kick it? Oh, Eddie Betts hits the post. He was almost going to have a shot as soon as he got near the footy.
The back of the post.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, gee.
That was just magnificent play. He was up against the quality defender in Newman. And Newman has been burnt twice. And he had nothing else to give.
No, he was right there, Newman.
Sensational stuff. If it went through, the crowd would have gone berserk. But anyway, we're back with Richmond. Trying to work it to 50.
And on the boundary line, Colby, Mark Murphy's struggling to get in the game in this half, but they've brought him to the bench for a rest.
Yeah, he's just came off the ground. Polo's been following him pretty well all day, so he's done a good job, Dean Polo.
Delidio, that kick is a hard one for Morton to take. Cruiser cleaning up. The 1-2. Patterson went past him. Cruiser's he can't beat everyone. Free kick now. The umpire had said play on. Now it's coming back. No advantage paid.
Well, I don't know. I reckon rugby union's got a lot over our game. You play it right out to see whether the advantage was there or not. Good call by the umpire.
Well, that's Johnson. Tiger fans 150. And Johnson just lays it off to the side to Hyde. Away he goes to the goal square. Morton makes good position. Strong mark. What a talent.
It's just really interesting watching the way they're playing. Richo's become the dummy. He has jumped out of the way a number of times. And Mitch Morton has become, in many ways, the go-to player.
Well, isn't that terrific? I mean, if that is the decision and the direction came and he's prepared to make those sacrifices, he and the Richmond Football Club will be better in time.
It's a great mark.
Terrific pair of hands. He did 6 or 7 of those last week, and his hands and his feet, I'm not sure about the other aspects of his game, but his hands and his feet are exceptional.
This to put the Tigers back in front. It'll be his third. It is. Never in doubt. And so now 3 for him to go with Hughes' 3. And the focal points are working.
Yeah, and now it's forced them, I think. Cruz has now had to come on the ball to release Cloak for a while. Cloak has gone to the bench.
Here he is, Chris Hyde. He knows he's got 2 options. Richo has broken to the right, which has left Jamison with just 1 man. And there's Richo coming back, which is excellent work because he knows he's out of the contest, but he's doubled back. He's kept himself in the game. If the ball spills over the back, he mops up. It's a good combination there for the Tigers right at the moment.
5-point game. Entertaining third quarter here at the MCG. Getting a little bit dark. The lights are on. Tuck. Didn't have possession. Wins the free kick. Advantage could be paid. It's coming back. Tuck has Tambling breaking for him. And he's turned it over.
Shocker.
Wiggins was in the way. Bryce Gibbs through the middle of the ground. The kick too far. Moore's got to go back now. O'Halpin is lurking. Gets a bad bounce. Bowden to Moore. In turn. They get it eventually from Tuck to King. Stops and says, no, there's nothing there for me. And we go right back the other way. And Polak can use Morton if he just runs off him. And he does. Further up the ground or to the wing, we have Polo. Loose man was set up.
Oh, look out.
Look out.
Oh.
Punch came from Simpson. Clean hands from Betts. Simpson probably didn't think it was coming back that quick. Johnson. Richmond a chance to reload. They go wide again, and luckily they had 2 on 1.
Well, they're living on the edge here, Dave. They haven't got the skill or the ability through the middle to start playing this game successfully. They've nearly had 2 turnovers in the space of 10 kicks.
Now Johnson. Richardson running hard. White, big job from White, couldn't take it.
Hands on back.
Well, you'd reckon if he doesn't take that mark.
Away go Carlton. Russell. Interesting, wasn't it?
Yep. Good to have another look at that one.
Brown. Wiggins.
Satana looking dangerous.
That's where he heads, but he just hooked the kick. Revolt was there. The spoil. Bowden. Fisher just did enough. Put a hand on it. Favola wants a free kick. Not there. King. Breaking. Running. Hand over the top. Tambling. King kept going. He's got to find a target here. Perhaps relieve some of the pressure. He hasn't. And I think Morton will be happy to see it over the boundary line.
Yeah, and I think he should have worked a bit harder to take the mark, Mitch Morton. He wasn't working as hard as King was, but here's the big mark. That's fair enough. It was only just inconsequential tough on the shoulder.
O'Halpin, hand in again. This time was from Tambling. Russell went through. Gibbs caught.
Round the neck and not paid.
Cochin. Clever handball from Tuck to get White going. He's going to back himself to beat Cruiser in a race. Then he kicks it wide. Nathan Brown. He's got off of Carazzo for once. Gets on his right boot. Hits it in the Hughes direction. Right within Grigg. And that's a good spoil because he was outmanoeuvred there by Hughes and probably had 3 inches on it.
Good call on Morton. He was gone. He wanted to get there, but he just couldn't get there, Gerard. I think he's better than that. So they dragged him straight away.
And once again, the Tigers going for the long option. It's frustrating, Richo, but they're going to it almost every time. The guy running towards the goal.
Delidio's kick up and under. Carlton with numbers. Cruiser throws it on the boot. Is it out on the full? It's a big talk, but it is.
Talk from the Cruiser.
Yep. Bring it back, I say.
Bring it back. That's a very tired young player who kicked that.
Delidio, 70 metres out. Heads in the Richardson direction. Spoil came from Cruiser. Here's a chance for Polo. Goes backwards to Foley. Likes to kick a goal, Nathan Foley. Won't be this time, though. It's out on the full.
Anything. That's the upper Alexa for me. Anything to out in front would have done that one. I mean, that's just a dreadful use of the ball.
Inside the last 3 minutes of this third quarter, Richmond by 5 points. And Carlton switched to Brown. He's not sure where to go.
He better bounce the ball soon.
He did well.
Didn't panic. Fisher and Bowden. Bowden worked him under the ball, didn't take it. Edwards will receive the free kick in his back. Jake Edwards. Hands off to Scotland. And the more experienced player. Heads long. Cloak. Cloak's got it! He should go back and put Carlton in front.
Well, it's a good call, Jared. You made the call. The tall, and I guess it was Cruiser we thought might attract the ball, but Cloak equally as well, and you mentioned that, has the capacity, certainly against a medium-tall opponent. Took that clean and clear.
So Cameron Cloak kicks the goal. Blues lead by 1.
They're just a much more multifaceted side if they continue to honour these two blokes. I think they're both running ruckman. They're not going to, I guess, dominate hit-outs to advantage, but if they can add extra things to their quiver, then I think they've got a major role to play. And this kid, I mean, he was established, or he was going to be a key forward for the Pies, and I think he's got the capacity to do that as he gets a bit more experience. He's coming back from a shoulder injury. He's a quality
young man, isn't he?
Chance in, I think, as a player of the future.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I don't know how hard it is to play on the ball for as long as they do and work as hard as they do and go forward and maybe not exploit on the way out. But I think Carlton's chances of winning today are dependent on those kids being able to do both jobs.
Simmons wins the knock. Had Tuck running past him. Intelligent play from Tambling, trying to keep it going in the right direction. Hands free from Tuck. Quick reflex.
Jeez, that was quick.
Great reflex work from Richmond. It ends up with McMahon and he spots Simmons.
Great usage. That's a great little passage of a total player pressure and good execution, but terrific decision-making prior to that.
I'm glad they're giving Shane Tuck a rest, because he was out on his feet, couldn't go with East Scotland earlier, which cost them a shot at goal, but he's worked his backside off, and I think he deserves a bit of a rest. But have a look at this for a passage of play. Instinctive handball. They trained for this, David, ad nauseum, and that's the reason why.
Isn't that, yeah, I mean, that's terrific, isn't it? That's where the game has gone. We didn't know anything about that sort of stuff in our day.
Simmons for his second, for another change of the lead, not to be. Scores level. The script is working out nicely.
Well, I'm not sure how many thousand people have turned up here today when we get that score, but I don't care which side you're barracking for, you're getting the full value for your dollar.
Gibbs with speed. It's the advantage of Stevens. He's called out of it.
Well done, Foley. Well done, Stevens.
Good battle. And we should say that obviously Foley's gone back to do the task, and Tuck on the boundary line's being resurrected with the beautiful hands of the masseurs.
Time for one more goal here, though. Who can win the clearance? Murphy just gave it to Wiggins. Tambling. His work rate's lifted.
Throw.
That was a throw.
Shit, open-handed it.
It was missed. Cotchin got it forward. Delidio, strong take. Cotchin kept going. What can the young man do? Spots Brown just peeling off, and he's got him. And the little throw from the contest might result in Brown's first goal, although the way he's kicking, he'll miss.
Now you get this one. This is the one he likes, but you're right. They got it on the back of a little throw.
For the third time today, Richmond have a shot after the siren. They've kicked the first two. Has he been reading this?
What are you saying, Matt? Yeah.
Has he been reading it? To put the Tigers back in front, he's kicked 5 behinds. He's now kicked 6.
Yeah.
Or has he? Yes. The Tigers will take a lead into the final quarter. Nathan Brown now has a goal because he's kicked 6 behinds. It was a very entertaining third quarter of football, and it is set up for a fantastic finish. We'll take a break. We're back for the last quarter. Richmond by 1.
Record breakers, series takers.
Big shot, good shot.
Will the Aussie Storm blow away Windies in St Kitts? 11:30 Friday night, one-day international cricket. West Indies, Australia, live and exclusive Fox Sports 3.
Did you know right now at Video Easy you can rent the hilarious comedy Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story? From the creators of Knocked Up and Superbad comes the story of a music legend who believed in himself.
I just know you're gonna fail.
Even when nobody else did. Rent the music comedy Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story from Video Easy now. Or buy it brand new on DVD from Video Easy and own the music, the man, the legend forever. Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story. Available to rent or buy now at Video Easy.
G'day, Glenn Munsey here from TAB Sportsbet. There's a mile of sport going on around the world, and here in Australia, we're going to look at rugby league. So let's look at the prices on the TAB Sportsbet event of the week.
In State of Origin 3, the Queenslanders are favourites to win and take the series, with plenty of other betting options available.
If you're in one of the thousands of pubs and clubs around Australia with the TAB, place your bets right now and best of luck.
Our story.
Step inside the coach's box with Fox Sports and Jim Beam AFL Fantasy. Watch all your footy on Fox Sports and use your knowledge to put your best on ground, round by round. Get the latest AFL news plus fantasy-specific articles to sharpen your coaching skills. Join any time and take on the office, your family or your mates for a share of $8 grand in weekly and major prizes. A team of champions or a champion team. With Jim Beam AFL Fantasy, it's all up to you at foxsports.com.au.
Set to go, last quarter, 1-point game. Cruiser winning the knock. Tuck there first for Richmond. They break quickly from the contest. Polo, not sure about Foley there. And now they've been forced to go back. Tuck. Polo kept going. He's having a good game, Dean Polo. Plenty of disposals. 23, in fact, and here's Morton. Wheels around. Kicks it very high. They've got to sit and wait. Richardson. Hughes was there, the spoil came. It sits for Johnson, he just belts it forward, hoping Delidio can get on it. Wonderful smother by Cruiser.
Magnificent smother by Cruiser.
He does some good work, doesn't he, for a very tall player. His athleticism and understanding of the game is superb.
That's why I think he could be one of the very best ruckmen in the comp. He does so much around the ground as well as being proficient in his area with the hit-outs.
Brown just slipped it over to Morton, kicks around the corner to the square, the ball bounces high and rush behind. Richmond lead by 2.
It's a great battle down there with Richo and Jared Waite. I think right now Richo's looking for Jared Waite more than he is for the footy. Needs to get on the burst and get out and take a couple of marks on the lead. And I know he's presented, he's been ignored a fair bit, which must be frustrating.
Scotland really taking his time on this kick-in.
Well, his options aren't great, Matt, and he's going to be under pressure here now.
Eventually, the long bomb. Cruiser the target. Got to beat 3. Stevens stayed down, tapped forward by Richardson. Wants Tuck to run onto it. Has it now, but Murphy was there, but he did well to get it back to Simmons. They'll need a kick here, though. Delidio round the corner. Standing and waiting was Scotland. Carazzo's under the pump, and he doesn't panic whatsoever. And kicks it out to Thornton.
Geez, Morton had him nailed there. He just let him slide through.
Scotland, that's hard running.
Good running. Great running.
He was way back in the back pocket. He's going to get a shepherd too from Cloak. He can keep going, Scotland. And the bounce doesn't come back to him. He does the sensible thing and gets rid of it. High ball now. Carlton's still in it. Newman, the spoil, happy to see it over.
So you'd be very happy to see that it didn't roll across the line. Then he would have been a very embarrassing situation for Scotland.
And he would have been in the highlight reels for all the wrong reasons.
That's exactly right.
Chance for Betts. Beaten to it though by Thornton. Doesn't kick a lot of goals. Squeezes it off the side of the boot. Cruiser comes through. King there for Richmond. So too Foley. Polak, not 15. Johnson. No one really to kick too long, so just chips over the top to Delidio. Get his hands on the ball again. Out in front of Richardson. Great sticky fingers from Richo.
Great kick. Great kick for Richo.
Morton guarding space. Now he's running into it.
And he's on it.
Oh, they wanted 50, the Tiger faithful.
Not going to get it. Morton throws it on the left. Hughes couldn't take it. Simpson wrapped up in a good tackle by Johnson. Ball spills to Bentic. Carlton go backwards. Scotland again. On the left boot, measures it to Russell.
Just a bit slow to get inside the skin of Russell was Jake King.
Cruiser has Murphy going past him. His kick out in front of Fisher. Bowden worries him out of it. That is just experience there from Bowden to Newman. They're away here, Richmond. Simmons can take it and go. Has some run. McMahon, that's his role on the team. Get past them and lays it off to Hughes.
Got him.
And some space for Brown, and he saw him break quickly.
That was great usage from Bowden's gather and square up in the back half all the way.
Brown just can't kick him at the moment, so he heads to the square. He's ran onto his right boot. His confidence is shot in front of goal.
Why?
I'm not sure what that decision was
He'd had 6 goes on his left, Pargo was due for a change.
Why?
He keeps kicking with the left. He'll get one eventually. But anyway, Jared Waite has Gibbs.
Good running from Gibbs. Good running.
Going past. Gets to 75 metres from goal. Lays a short one into Fisher. No, it's not Fisher, it's Edwards.
Cloak looks dangerous. Straight on top of his head.
That's where he wants it.
Well, but he wants to do it now. No, straight on top of his head is not going to prove anything. He's got to kick it now. Have to land on the front end of the square. Oh, well, no, he doesn't.
No, it's gone short, Edwards, and that's loose checking from Richmond.
You've got 5 Richmond players standing around looking at each other, and you've got 3 Carlton players. Surely 3 could have been covered and the other 2 fill the holes. I don't understand that.
So Murphy.
There's the kick. There's your technique on Murphy now, Jared.
The margin is 3 points. At the moment, it's the Tigers. It could have been Carlton.
It didn't look all that good, Jared.
No, he just let that one slide across the boot. It just wasn't a good hit. Wasn't even a good one for the other technique. No. But nevertheless, that's the issue you're talking about, Parker. Just that attention to detail from Tiger fans or Tiger players that are. I mean, that's going to cost you a spot in the finals.
Revolt to himself, and then under a little bit of pressure still measures the pass to Polak. Let's go to Lee down in the boundary leg.
Matty Richardson, gentlemen, has just walked off the ground in a fair bit of pain, so he's gone up the race. Not sure exactly what it is yet.
We'll keep an eye on that, see if Richo can come back. In the meantime, it's Delidio who has it, and he's off and going. He's won a 100-metre sprint final on the MCG, but that time he's forced to kick it high. Brown just edges Carazzo out and played on and gave it straight up. The rebound coming now. Carlton, can they make Brown pay? Murphy's kick. Betts called out of it by Favola.
Well, that's his controlled kick, Jared. I mean, if we had time to have a look at that one again, I know in the state of the game is probably more important things, but it was a beauty. Just eased back a little bit, and that was a perfect kick to Favola with not great ferocity, but terrifically straight ahead run. I mean, if you can kick and run and it's all in the one motion, you stay in a straight line, it's likely the ball will go. So it's the deviations part through the ball which kills you.
I reckon if he could put a level on Murphy's shoulders, if it's square, he kicks it straight. If he drops his shoulders, he drops a footy. This is a big kick in the terms of this year.
Favola for his 3rd on the 50-metre line. Wants it to bend back. It doesn't bend back enough. He knows it was close. 1 point the margin.
Yeah, the great Michael Tuck was the perfect example of that. His running style and kicking was the same.
Yep.
He just ran and kicked the ball as it does when he was running.
That's a great kick out from Newman.
Lee Richo's up and running on the boundary.
He's just got a little bit of strip of tape actually inside his right knee, but you can't see it there. But that's he's certainly not comfortable at the moment.
Brown's being pushed deep.
So it's Foley told to go, and he just goes wide to Tuck. So Delidio also having a spell. A couple of the big guns on the bench for Richmond. Revolt measures the pass, Hyde. And he, in turn, another short pass at the feet this time, though, of Morton.
That's two he's dropped at the feet, though, so he's got some areas to improve there. They're not great kicks, but he could have made that one rolling.
Wiggins gives it back to Stevens, who goes to Vavola. He recovers and gives it off to Stevens. Little kick around the corner.
That'll be a good one to finish.
Untidy, but it may pay off for Carlton. Gibbs puts the Blues in front.
Well, for bowlers, you talk about control around your feet, and when a ball wasn't good, what he was able to make out of a lousy delivery, gain possession, and we all laughing about the kick, but it ended up putting it into perfect space.
Well, there it is, the Nick Stevens kick. It was a bit of a mongrel, but smart play there from Fisher in the finish as well, and Gibbs just fires away. And the Blues are in control of this match right now.
Yeah,
only 5 points up, but they've got the run. They've got to do something here in the middle, the Tigers, to get back some ascendancy. Richo's off the ground. They're wasting shots, and they've got to find someone who can kick them a goal.
Well, their best Bentic is one of three. Stevens and, of course, Gibbs, who's lifting his game. They're the three smaller blokes in the middle, with Cloak leading the way.
2 goals for Gibbs. Carlton now lead by 5 points.
Hold on to Simmons.
He got the clearance, but Simpson first there for Carlton.
It's not working for them.
Carazzo in trouble. He's in big trouble. The ball spills out. Brown comes in to help him. Scotland over to Simpson, and Carlton can reload. Carazzo's kick, Betts. Enough from Newman. Boundary throw in.
The Kane Johnson and Simpson matchup's an interesting one, Pargo. Johnson's smart player up that half-forward line, but Simpson's just getting a bit of run.
Yep.
Stevens out the back to Cloak, pinched by Foley. Held on to Cloak, and that's a turnover that Richmond didn't need.
No, they needed, well, the other way round. Cartlon, I think, a little lucky to get that. He seemed to be controlling the ball, Cloak, but the umpire was definite about it. He wasn't in possession.
So Cameron Cloak waits for Leeds and then hits it long into the pocket. Big leap over the back. It came from Wade. He likes to jump high. Bentic roving it, snaring it, giving it back to Fisher. Fisher hooking it round the corner, right to the goal square. Standing strong, standing firm, Kelvin Moore.
Oh, look, Jared, for a young kid, that's an exceptional effort.
Rich side.
Matt, in that situation, and thumped it down and given the opposition a second play on it.
Can they capitalise on that? As King gives it to Patterson, running McMahon into some space. Hyde his target. Over the back, it's all Carlton. Carazzo mopping up. And measures the pass out to Thornton.
It can change quickly, but right now Carlton just look like they've got more blokes willing to run.
Tamlin got in front of Fisher. It's back to White. He's in trouble. But he does break the tackle, give it over to King.
Good boy.
Newman's, he just got away, Newman. He's in some space. He's trying to draw Stevens into it. Stevens not having a bar of it. Newman's kick, one-on-one. Brown and Carazzo, they both go to ground, play on the call. Simpson.
Oh, that's a throw.
In his back, Jared.
Well, how do you get rid of the footy? I guess which goes first.
Well, the throw was followed by a push in the back.
Here it is. You make your own mind up. Which came first, the chicken or the egg? Here's Wiggins. Wiggins from 55 to the hot spot. Carlton need a mark, and they get one, and they get Favola in the game.
Well, there's Bowden again. I'm sorry to go back one. I don't know if we can see this, but Bowden let his man come up, which was Wiggins, and then will I go? No, well, I can't imprint on him now. I'll go, and he got halfway back to try and protect it. He couldn't. Halfway into no man's land is no go.
And well done to Fev. He kept presenting, and this time he snatched it.
And this time he kicks his third. Carlton lead by 11 points. They're making it tough for the Tigers.
Hard to see them coming back from here, Parko. This would be a massive victory to Richmond if they can pull this one out.
Well, I go back. I know I'm a harper, but I go back to the way they played for the first quarter and a half and didn't get a great result. They were in charge for long enough. They ran an enormous amount across the midfield, and now if they're being asked to repeat it now, I think that's impossible in that situation.
Just going back to that replay, there's the big grab from Fev. Just wonder who was doing the pushing in the back, whether it was the captain of the Tigers or Simpson dragging him forward. This has been a debate all season.
60 goals for the season now for Favola in round 14. Richardson.
Got to get him back. All the big guns on the ground. Yep. Delidio's got to get back out there. He probably is.
Pressure now on the Tigers. Carlton with some breathing space. Cochin wrapped up. Wiggins got hands free. No one tackled him. Stevens peels off the contest. Now he's away. He just missed Favola. A diving attempt not successful. More untidy. Real pressure here. Here comes Fev. They've still got a chance here, Carlton. He's holding it. Play on. He's just like, get rid of it. And we finally have a whistle.
Well, Fev was a bit lucky then. He just thought, well, I'm going to clean up somebody here and knock him over, and he charged in over the top. I think we could have blown the whistle at any time.
Big bounce this one. Cruiser. Now someone. There you go.
And the whole stadium just held their breath.
We didn't know where it was going, but it was going to Newman.
It's funny, the collective breath, a silence across 80,000 or whatever it is.
Well, I think everybody knew if it had gone the other way, the game was just about done and dusted. On the boundary line, Lee Colbert.
Matty Richardson, boys, just did a warm-up up and down the ground, and he's definitely hurt his left hamstring and gave it a little bit of a pull too during the run-through. So, gone for the day, Matty.
Not going to help him.
No. They have to find something now, though, the Tigers. Delidio is back on the ground.
Troy Simmons at full forward.
Delidio, now, he's just kicked to Bowden, but Fisher was right with him. This is a big ball. Free kick, Bowden.
Good
Fisher
decision.
gave it up.
Good decision.
So we're inside 9 minutes. 11-point margin to Carlton.
This is crucial now, the usage of this ball at this minute. Well, that's not going to help.
He's just going to hit it high. Patterson steps in front. Spoiled, false to Tambling. Threads it through to Johnson. Keeps going. Can keep going to goal, but decides to hit the hot spot. Or square it up. The punch came.
It's a nothing kick in the end.
Yep.
Just put it into the more dangerous area. He had a track straight to goal.
Jamison to Stevens. Into Bentic.
Had a big game, Bentic.
Yep.
Terrific game.
Him and Carazzo have had enormous games.
Simpson going to back himself to hit it and square it up. Wiggins goes back and takes a beauty. This could be it for the Tigers.
Well, he's done that on occasions. Over the years, he's tantalised us all, and people keep thinking he's not the complete package, and they've continue to pick him, not all the time on occasions, and within games he's done exactly that. He's got good hands for his size, and he might put this Gerard beyond redemption.
Kicks this one, game over for the Tigers, you would think. That may well have been his finest moment as a player, Parko. That was just absolute sheer brilliance.
He doesn't make any mistake. Carlton now lead by 17 points. Wiggins has been good in front of goal.
Well, you hope for his sake, because he probably has worked hard enough for long enough to actually be in the place to get some glory.
Well, good on him. I think he said this is just a fantastic mark. Fev has given him a little bit of a chop out. Simmons hit it to Simpson, I should say, hit it to the top of the square. That's a gutsy mark and a great finish. And this is a massive victory by the Carlton Footy Club. Not done and dusted absolutely yet, but hard to see the Tigers getting back. And they would have been challenged as a group. No, Judd, are you good enough to step up in his absence?
Well, and that'll be the biggest thing that'll come out of this game, I have no doubt. I mean, they'll use that in terms of where they are, and they can only get better with the personnel they can't play today.
Carlton doing everything right at the moment, including winning another centre clearance. Cruiser belting it forward. Here's Favola. Can he pick it up? Not yet. Newman there, tidying up once again. Still the pressure on though. Eddie Betts, he's pinched it. Eddie, what will he do? He squares it back to Wiggins, the hero. Over the top, Favola. Oh, well, they've almost made a mess of it, but in the end, Favola's got his fourth, and in the end, Carlton go 4 goals clear.
All right, please, the boy, there was a lot of courage to do that. It was a team thing to give it over. I think I might have gone back, Jared, and had a go myself, but he did the right thing, and they were rewarded in the finish.
Well, it's great work by Eddie Betts. He's in and out, Eddie, but geez, he creates some havoc down there. Simon Wiggins just didn't quite hit the handball well enough, but the footy gods are with them. And there'll be free pizzas for all at Lygon Street this afternoon or this evening.
And one of the great escapes is that Richardson has not been able to reappear, which has given Waite the opportunity to go forward. Their structure now is, I think, the best they can have, and they've got a big man they can rest them or play them forward. It's just, just been a terrific effort, really.
2 in the last quarter for Favola.
Like Cruiser's game, David.
Yes, over 2. Here he goes again.
We got another bounce down. And we'll go again. Inside the 7-minute mark now. Carlton surging home. Richardson looks on. Not much he can do. Johnson. Stevens just did enough to just slide in, and Carlton end up with it, and they may get another shot at goal. Drifting into the hole was Murphy.
Well, good instance there. A couple of players kept their head down longer over the ball than their Richmond opponents, who lifted the head, turned off the contest, and as happens, didn't get rewarded with the ball.
Just some public relations being done there by Favola with the
cheer squad.
He loves it. Murphy, how will this one go? How are the shoulders, Jared?
Look good to me.
Looks okay to me. What an afternoon for Carlton now. It's party time.
Well, they deserved it, because for a long time early in the game they weren't in control of it, and they were struggling to get their game together, and Richmond had done enough early, I thought, to not destroy Carlton, but to get such a lead on the board. Didn't eventuate, and it always comes back to bite you on the backside if you don't get good finish for your work early in the game. And no doubt Richmond are tired now, and they'll be chasing to the finish. This will be an avalanche, I would suggest, from this point on.
Just that slide in from Stevens at the start, setting it up. Murphy finished it off. 29 points.
And I think Terry Wallace will just say to his players after the match, you had your chances.
Yep, no doubt.
This is AFL footy, not country league. You give away too many opportunities, and you're going to get hurt. That is a brilliant tackle, and he's going to be penalised. He rotated him.
Rolled him over.
Great tackle from Russell, but Foley wins the free kick.
That's a great kick too.
Measures at the Bowden, who should kick a goal from there. Doesn't. To the square. Revolt looking for it. Big spoiled boundary throw in. Carlton enjoying time now.
Well, they needed that, didn't they? I mean, Foley's kick was a ripper running in. And Bowden, who had the chance to finish off, and we all punted up here that he would, missed by a long way.
They were looking for 100,000 at the G today, 73,500. So a little bit more than round one when it was 72. On that day, Richmond won by 30 points. It's a reversal. As Carlton run it out with Scotland.
And they found some legs now, Matt.
There's some good hard running from him.
And your man Jordan Russell, David, he's flying in the last quarter.
He's waiting for the 5 minutes.
He's the best last quarter man I've ever seen.
Carlton go forward again. Waite tight in the pocket. And it's out of bounds on the full.
Now, Parker, you made not a controversial statement, because I think everyone knows where you were coming, saying that it would be better for Carlton's long-term development if they didn't make the 8. But based on this, they're going to give it a fair crack.
Yeah, I think they will. And I don't know the attitude to that, but for a lot of people around the club, not necessarily the players, and people like us, start to place an extra expectation on just because they made the 8. And I think just making the 8 is no, evaluation of where your team really is.
Revolt, some fine running from Richmond from the back half, and finished off with a goal for Revolt. That's as good as you will see this afternoon.
And good for him, because he's playing in a new role. I saw him play a lot of his junior football, always played forward. I think they've stuck with him in downback. He's gone forward now, but Jack has, I think, the capacity to become, it's his cousin, isn't it, in the same class as his cousin. Great athleticism. I think he understands the game well.
He's got the capacity to become one of those big-bodied midfielders if he's prepared to do the miles. The Tan's not that far from Punt Road.
They do a lot of that.
3 or 4 of those a day in pre-season. He can build the endurance to go with the likes of Delidio and Cochin in the middle of the ground.
11 disposals and a goal for Jack Revolt. Margin back to 23. It was hard running from Foley and Delidio, and Stevens has been superb in the second half. Spilt by Polak. You don't want to spill it with Eddie Betts around. Eddie, how about that?
Well, fair play for Nick Stevens, David. I think he would have been challenged. I think he would have challenged himself.
Yep, I agree with that.
And he was not dominant in the first half, but I thought his third quarter was absolutely superb, and he's finished up one of Carlton's absolute best. In the absence of the best midfielder in the competition, he's just lifted and led.
Fev is giving it to Polak. He's got a one-man around 5 of them trying to protect Polak, demonstrating how he ducked his head and missed the mark. I mean, you know, you've got this point for the scoreboard, son. You don't have to make a fool of it. Oh, look at him. I'm not very keen on players doing that. That's embarrassing your opposition. It always comes back.
A couple of goals for Eddie Betts this afternoon. That almost kicked the miraculous one and hit the post. We would have been talking about that one on the couch on Monday night. So we reload in the Tigers through McMahon. And he turns it around, and Delidio on the end of his pass. Dunning of the ball. 28th disposal.
Now it's a reverse. The Carlton team are doing exactly what Richmond did earlier in the game.
Over the top, the kick. Presenting as Morton.
Now, I would not, I know it's difficult here from that side on a windy, gusty day, but the kid put a few away last week from a similar position.
He hits to the top of the square. Needs a big man to come in and mark. Ball at ground level. Off the ground, Revolt. Wrong side of the post. (11-16, 16-14). Carlton to Stevens.
He's got a wonderful engine, hasn't he, Stevens? He's just continues to whack out the miles.
And he's put that one out in front of Favola. Now he's going to take. Now he handballed and then he crawled, and he's still got it.
He's a showman,
and he's not happy with what happened.
The fast crawler.
It's one of the fastest crawls we've seen at the MCG. This is Simmons in the middle of the ground. Squares it wider. Jake King. And he's running for him. A couple of bounces. Will he take on Cloak? Eventually. And now he ran himself into big trouble. Holding the ball.
That's just...
And he might give away 50 here, David.
Is that his fault? Or what's not happening ahead of him?
Well, it's probably a combination of both. He was looking upfield. He's worked his hard. He's worked pretty hard.
Well, usually movement like that creates movement, Jared. And I looked ahead of him. He has no blokes with their hands up, so kick it to me, you know.
Just working it back. Carlton and just taking a bit off the clock. It's a 28-point lead to the Blues as Simpson spots a man in the middle.
Well, he actually got pointed to by Scotland, who was directing traffic.
Sedanta. Favola. Yep.
Just read it better. Moore had the front position. He went early. He was going for the footy, which will work for him more times than it doesn't. But that time he just misjudged, and Feb, he's ready to go.
I reckon he'd read O'Halpin's. He's had a few of those in the training track. He's the only one who knew where O'Halpin's kick was going. And it's good for O'Halpin. He got into a spot to receive in the middle of the ground, ran and delivered it basically into the target zone.
Moore's been good. Favola's going to end up with 5 here.
Yeah, that's true.
The Favola is a player that if you keep him to 5, you've had a pretty fair day. He's that good a player at forward when they're winning.
Or maybe not 5.
Can't believe it.
He doesn't miss too many of those, so just the 4, that's a big miss.
I wonder if Pollock will go over and give him a casing there.
And the conversation will continue between the cheer squad, I'd suggest. Meantime, Newman.
He won't Matt Gabriel lean on the fence for a while.
I reckon he might. The ball might come back to him here. Simpson lays it off for Scotland. Straightens up, smothered by King.
That's when they become too Favola conscious.
Favola, not Favola, Foley. Sorry, I'm a bit Favola conscious as well. Away goes the Tigers through Hyde. In turn, Johnson got it from Delidio, and Johnson finishes with a goal.
Right, Matt actually did that well. That was a good, strong build-up at a time when they're being savagely mauled by the opposition. That was good, cool, calm, and precision stuff, actually, to set up and Johnson score the goal. Have a look at Tuck coming off now. I mean, he is absolutely done and dusted.
2 goals in his last quarter, Richmond, through good running from the back defensive 50, and finished off with good kicks from both Revolt and Johnson.
But the problem is, Matt, it's happened when the game's over.
Yes, that's true.
And the pressure's come off. The chase has come off a little bit from the Blues. And I think Terry Wallace will want to know why people for the Tigers haven't worked as hard as Shane Tuck across the board.
Yep, I agree with that.
Spent.
I mean, they have set up some opportunities. The forwards will have to address their misses, which robs you of a lot of, I guess, enthusiasm to run.
True. That is the total 44 players will be looking for the break, I reckon, Jared.
Well, it's a hard-running game, Parker, and I reckon they'll be all looking to put the legs up, but I know who's going to enjoy it most.
Yeah.
Favola couldn't quite get it. Gibbs can around the corner. He's kicked 3, has he? What a day for Bryce Gibbs.
Their collective talent, the kids are starting to
have an influence.
Oh, they are. They really are. I mean, Cotcham has been terrific. Tambling we haven't seen much of. A couple of the other boys, I think, for Richmond, Delidio has been terrific. Polo, I think, played pretty well for most parts. So some of their kids are, but I think the Cartlon 3, Cruiser looks to me to be the package. No doubt about that. Their other, Gibbs certainly will be, Murphy certainly will be. So I think both clubs have got a fair bit to look forward to. I think they're going up, certainly, bit by bit.
3 goals for Bryce Gibbs. And it's been a big last quarter for Carlton. We're in the final seconds of this game. Bentic has I've enjoyed his game. They've got time for one more, have they? Grigg lobs it over the top. And wouldn't you know it, we'll probably have another shot after the siren.
And it's, it's been a 5 or 6 goal win in these circumstances.
Big goal.
It's a big win. It's a big win.
Fev shaking the hands of the Richmond cheer squad. They've enjoyed a bit of banter all afternoon. Fisher for the goal. An anticlimax almost from him. It's a behind. So the final margin will be 30 points, identical to round 1. Reversal of the result.
And you couldn't see that result at half-time, David. No. It was 12 points. The leaders were the Tigers. And it was the Blues in the second half that really, I guess, showed the opposition that they wanted to win just that little bit more. I mean, Richo's injury came at a time where they could still have won, but they were well behind at that period of time.
Fox Sports production.
And off the ball, look no further than Fox Sports News.
As I said, whether it was more or less, we'll prepare to cop whatever come our way.
For all your AFL updates, Channel 513.
Want to lower your handicap and raise your golfing IQ? Then there's a homegrown golf show just for you.
I'll say it is.
The Fox Sports PGA Golf Show wraps up the action from around the world, gives you tips to help your game, and talks to the world's best about just what it takes.
Just didn't know whether to laugh or cry or cringe or...
Tee off with the PGA Golf Show tonight at 7:30. Where else but
Fox Sports. Fox Sports.
Your home of golf in Australia.
You little beauty.
Tuesday on Fox Sports 1, 6:30, we recap the weekend's AFL action with some of the game's most respected commentators on the couch. At 7:30, Brett Ogle hosts The Golf Show